Hello everybody, my name is Algrim, and welcome to Undead Air, the show where we discuss urban legends, scary stories, and conspiracies. And tonight, we have a delightfully murderous story for you, involving us and a murderer. Sit back and relax. You're listening to FM Town, the best station on 87 and 109 MHZ. And now, time to get back to the night's most popular talk show, Small Talk. October 30th, 1997, 11:40 p.m. 555-6612, that's the number to call if you want to participate and ask your questions. Before the break, we were talking about the alleged violent media ban being discussed by the government right now. I have to say, the topic has set the phones on fire. Radio's not dead. For a brief moment, it looked like radio would die. They thought that things like television or this thing called the internet would replace radio. Well, they were wrong. Having said that though, radio really went a long way since I began working here. These computers are now everywhere. On the screen, for example, back from the commercial in 5, keep reading the newspapers while we take some more call. I can communicate with the producer and the control booth. We share the same computer screen, so by writing things on a notepad, they can give me instructions. Back in the days, we used cards or gestures. So, it looks like this ban's not going to work like censorship. It's more like a set of guidelines with the purpose of avoiding content that could encourage crimes of similar acts. But the question is still there. Who's going to decide what's okay and what's not? And even if they figure that out, are we really sure that the recent increase in violent crimes is due to violent media? I mean, I enjoy a good horror flick from time to time. That doesn't make me a serial killer. But anyway, I digress. I think it's time to hear what the people think. Right after a short commercial break. Let's go, we got callers on hold. I'll send them to your screen, you can take them in any order. I must admit, this is the part I fear the most. Anyone can call, so this thing is highly unpredictable. Yeah, I can see who called and a short summary of their call in advance. But still, anything can happen. Alright, let's do this. And we're back with Small Talk. Time to answer your calls. Let's see who we got. Do you know that you can use number keys on your keyboard to choose? We've got John Firearms, Jeff GTA 6, and Rita Violent Media. Gotta go with John Firearms. Hello? Yes, can you hear me? Yes. Yes? Oh, we're on air. Yes. Can you please tell your name and where you're calling from? Yes, I'm John. Yes, right, Oh god, this is gonna take forever. I wanted to talk about, the article you read. It was about, the guns? Yes, John, it was the article on the regulation and production of firearms. What's your opinion on that? I'm just wanted to say, it's a very complex issue because it's both a political and cultural thing. It's hard to find. John, I'm sorry, but I have to cut your call to hear from the other callers as well. I'll just say that I totally agree with you. And with that, I think our time is over. Eh? A blackout? No, we're still on air. It's alright, go on. Only the lights in the booth are gone. What's going on? I'm told that we have time for just another call. Let's see who's on the line. Hello? I'm sorry? What? Help me, please. So, can you tell us your name and where you're calling from? I can't take it anymore. Please stop the broadcast. The voices, the radio waves. It will make me go crazy. Please. I'm sorry, pal, but I can't do that. Who the hell is this guy? Please help me. It's like my head is going to explode. Please just stay silent, even for a bit. Let me tell you something. If there's anything radio fears the most, it's silence. You know how we call that? Dead air. Radio can't go silent for a long period of time. I think it's also illegal. A radio that is silent for more than 30 seconds is likely to trigger several alarms across the country. I don't want the FBI banging at my door. Is that so? I guess I'll do it myself then. What? We'll be back after a short commercial break. Hey, that's my line. One year later. The Devil's Night. Best time of the year. It's getting late. I better start walking towards the studio. Let's think about me. I woke up a few hours ago, so I'm still sleepy. Reminder to get coffee as soon as I get to the studio. I've always thought that Halloween was on the 30th, but it's actually on the 31st. But since it's called Halloween's Eve, is Halloween on the 1st of November? So it makes sense that it should be the 30th, or... Well, just to be sure, I've decided that Halloween starts in September and never ends. I like my job. Ever since last year's incident, a lot of things have changed at the station. The new manager might be inexperienced and clumsy, but I think he did the right thing. By redirecting all the weird calls to my show, he kinda created a containment space for crazy listeners. My show is like a radio asylum, and I love it. Everyone deserves to be heard. Sorry, I don't think I'll go out tonight. There's a movie marathon on TV, The Horse of Satan Saga, from 1 to 3. I can't miss it. The sequels were crap anyways. The surrounding. Fall came earlier and stronger this year. Despite it being a sunny day, I'm feeling cold. This is a relatively peaceful neighborhood, but that peace does get interrupted from time to time. A few weeks ago, for instance, there was a big apartment fire. People died, and some are still missing. You can see the community still hasn't recovered from the shock. The VHS store. The owner of the VHS store has always creeped me out. I swear he looks like a serial killer. But I'm sure the most illegal thing he has ever done was selling some bootleg movie. The sky. It's almost time. One last look at the sun. When I'll be out of the studio, it will be already pitch black. The phone. Huh? 3 missed calls. God, how can she be so restless? It's just a regular show. Just longer, but whatever. Anyway, I should get going. We need some time to prepare before going live. I wonder what crazy story she's found on the internet this time. Okay, let's go to the studio then. The studio is just around the corner. Let's go. I was starting to think you were being abducted by aliens. You're late. I know, sorry. I was just enjoying the Halloween atmosphere in town before locking myself in here for the next 4 hours. Everything is ready for the big night, Undead Air's Halloween special. Our small independent studio, with a piece of pizza and, well, not really much else, I guess. Let's go everything again. How are you? Oh, I'm pretty hyped. Yeah, I know. I like the Halloween season too. Don't tell me you're going trick-or-treating tomorrow. Ew, that's lame. Me and my friends were going to hold a seance. Don't do anything dangerous, you hear? Do Ouija boards count as dangerous? Yes. You're no fun. Let's talk about the show. Let's go over the schedule once again. Okay, so we'll go live around 8:30 Pacific time right after the news. Our first segment is today's top spook stories and the first batch of calls. What did you find this time? School teacher who went to hell and posted photos. The medium that could read the future by playing video games. Alien-induced sleep paralysis case. Oh boy, that one. And the world of horror, that was a pretty spooky case. Remote view psychic solves murder. You think people will call so early in the show? Have you seen the latest ratings? This is the most followed show on the station. Yeah, we have no shortage of crazy people calling. After that, we have the documentary. The 4 hours documentary on the flying girl in the woods. Yeah, that's a classic. You still haven't listened to the second part. It's just 3 hours long. But I'll get to it when I can. Anyway, we should be back for our second segment around 10 p.m. Another round of calls, too. And then the second part of the documentary. After that, we go back live at the 11 p.m. for this third segment. A shorter session with interviews and movie reviews. We got the station news after that. That will be our long break. Yeah, as you can see, we have plenty of time to relax between each segment. Our fourth and last segment is scheduled at 12 a.m. That's when the world will end after I summon Satan. The big finale. Yeah. I go to bed early after that. Aww. Anything strange happen? On my way to the studio, I was being followed by some guys in black suits. What? Also, I don't know. Don't you feel like there's someone else here besides us? I feel like I'm being watched. They're just messing with me. Yeah. You know how it is. Spending most of your time on the internet looking for spooky stories. You start seeing conspiracies everywhere. You should stop reading crap on the forum. It's not crap. Besides, look who's talking about crap. You listen to mythomaniacs or read about the latest internet drama 24/7. And you enjoy it. Yeah, touché. Let's look around. Oh, there's a lot. Computer, I swear the computer is always showing that occult forum. It's the #1 source for BS stories, but for some reason they seem to work. I guess as long as it's a good story, it will work. No matter if it's real or not. The pumpkin. Is it staring at me? It's creepy. The fax. It looks like a fax. It is actually some magic phone machine that lets us accept multiple calls on air. We can keep on hold up to 3 calls at once. Oh no, I forgot to bring sugar again. We have 4 hours of broadcast ahead with that terrible bitter coffee. Pizza. Looks like she ordered in. What pizza is this? Is that pumpkin? What? When the new radio manager reached out to us, he was looking for a somewhat indie radio show. That's why we decided to broadcast from our small personal studio instead of going to the main radio building. This is the perfect base of operation for us. It's peaceful and comfy. Radio room. This right here is where the magic happens. The microphone. The microphone is an amazing piece of tech. It can capture every little nuance in your voice. You can't hide anything when speaking to a mic. Unless you're like me and you use a load of cleaning up. Ah, this toy. I don't know what it is. Looks like some kind of weird snail creature. Some hobo guy gave it to me a few days ago while I was walking to the studio. Magazines. My friend used to work for one of these occult magazines. I think they're trash, but I will never tell her. And what's with this habit of placing a photo of the reporter on the front page? The computer is another essential piece of equipment for the show. Not only can I communicate with production, but I can also see the caller's info in advance. Not to mention how most of the stories in our program are based on internet rumors and urban legends. These machines are starting to pop up everywhere. Alright, let's start the broadcast. It's showtime! Actually, there was a think I forgot to do, but... And now, live from FM Town Radio, the night you all have been waiting for. Undead Air. Devil's Night Special. The countdown to the spookiest night of the year. Yes, good evening, everyone. It's time. It's Devil's Night. Tonight, anything can happen. Tonight, all your fears and delusions could become real. You can start sharing them with us. Call 555-666-12 to tell your story. We will be here to listen. No filters. This is a very special episode of our show. Tonight we will keep you company for the next 4 hours. Are you ready to get spooked? Let's start with some updates on our top stories. You probably remember last week when we talked about that teacher's testimony. She claimed to have been in hell for about 23 minutes. She talked about a cell, stone walls, and smoke. Well, it looks like a bunch of photos are now floating on the internet. Is her story real, or just another hoax? We also have some updates about the medium we interviewed a few weeks ago. You probably remember the peculiar way they tried to see into the future. Using a programming error found in a recently released monster fighting game, he was able to get a glimpse of none other than the year 2036. He talked about a nuclear war in 2015 and a global collapse in 2038. That sounds promising. I'd like to get back on the story. In the future. In other news, you'll probably be familiar with the infamous findings of Mame Josan regarding alien life forms. Well, turns out he surpassed himself this time. He apparently claimed to have found an authentic alien mummy, completely intact. We're talking about a bizarre being with 4 limbs and 5 fingers each. Can you believe it? DNA tests are being performed as we speak. We'll keep you updated. Lastly, check this out. It's about the psychic who called us several times claiming to be a police informant. Her power was remote viewing, the ability to see remote objects, places, or people. After solving a recent missing person case by telling the police the exact location of the victim, the psychic is now a suspect in the case itself. How will she explain the source of her information in court? I have to admit, this could be a great legal thriller. Everything was going according to plan. It was time for the phone calls segment. Okay, let's see who we've got on the phone tonight. Arthur Crime. I think you should call the police. If you keep giving voice to those people, something bad could happen. This is a very real situation. You might be in danger. Thanks for the thought. There's time for another call. Happy Devil's Night. Happy Devil's Night to you. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from. My name is not important. Whoa. What's up with your voice? Are you some kind of ghost? You could call me that. So, what's your story? I don't have a story. Yet. I'm going to commit murder. Tonight, at midnight. 4 murders, 1 in each time zone. And you will be the last victim. See you soon. Woohoo, that was something. What the hell just happened? It's now time for the first part of tonight's documentary. It's a very in-depth investigation on the mysterious case of the flying girl in the woods. Please enjoy the first part. We will be back live after that. The Corpse School. I can't believe this. A serial killer called our program. Whoa, hold on there. We have guys like that all the time. Are you sure? I mean, they literally threatened you directly. I think we should call the manager. Please, it's nothing. But what if it's true? Something bad could happen. I don't feel so well. Alright, if that makes you feel better, then let's call the manager. If I remember correctly, the manager is out of town. I type his number and I call. After a few seconds, I know everything. I'm coming over. Of course he knew. Do you think this is serious? I'm not sure, but I'm looking into it. I called the police. What? Better safe than sorry. They will protect you. And... oh God, why now? What happened? I'm stuck. I'm stuck in traffic. Will take me some time to get there. Please be careful. Don't go anywhere. I have to stay here for the next 4 hours. It's in my contract. Oh, and another thing. Are you experiencing any equipment malfunction? Not that I know of. I looked at the audio guy, just to be sure. She shook her head. We've been getting reports from listeners in the ET zone. Apparently, the radio went silent for a few minutes. I'm looking into what might have caused it. I see. Well, everything seems fine here. Good. Silence. Boss? Hello? He just closed the call. Whatever. What did he say? He said he's coming here. And called the cops. Whoa, this just got real. I don't know. What? Do you think it's a prank? A serial killer trying to kill me. It's real. There's only one way to find out. We'll see what happens at midnight, Eastern Time. I see. He also mentioned some technical problems with our station tonight. Could be anything. Huh? My phone is ringing. Hello? Police. Oh. I'm the officer assigned to your case. Case? I was told that someone threatened you live on the radio. Yes, but... People like that call us all the time. Look, maybe you think this is a prank, but please be careful. The world is a scary place. I know. I need you to answer some questions, then I'll let you be. Thank you. Do you have some idea on who this person might be? I don't know. I tried getting their name, but it was too muffled. I couldn't hear it right. Oh, I'm afraid we don't have a name. And even the voice. It was weird, like they were using some kind of modulator or something. I see. Do you have any enemies? Someone who could hold a grudge against you? I don't think so. This is a pretty popular show. Can you tell me more about your show? The show, let's see. We began broadcasting about a year ago. It was just phone calls at first. There was no theme. Then we noticed that most callers were obsessed with the occult, urban legends, or hoaxes. So we kinda encouraged that by reporting on stories like that. Have you ever met any of the people who call on your show? Actually, yes, it was at a convention. Something strange happened during the event? Well, there was this one fan once. He showed us an old sniper rifle in the car park and then asked us for an autograph. I think it was just a gun fanatic or something. Just what type of program do you host? Like I said, we kinda encourage people to share their delusions. Most of them are fanatics, but they're harmless. We'll see about that. The killer called you. In some way, you are at the center of this case. Think about it. If something comes to your mind, please call me. Got it. Thank you. I'll be in touch. The police are on to it. We got all the precautions. Happy now? Yes? While on break, we checked the news on TV and the internet for the next few minutes. Nothing happened at midnight ET. But just a few minutes later... Oh! Turn the TV on. What's up? It was the news. Tipped by an anonymous call, 3 victims confirmed. Causes of death still uncertain. Oh boy, it's happening. Someone was found dead after midnight. Several victims, actually. You seem almost happy when you say that. No. I know. But are you sure this is related to our serial killer? I've been checking online. It seems so. Look. At the pumpkin. What if the killer is inside the pumpkin? They could have planned all this from the beginning to keep an eye on us. Or maybe they put a bomb inside the pumpkin to kill me? Wait, is that real fire inside the pumpkin? Oh, of course not. It's an electric candle. There's an internet forum page on the screen. You can see photos of an abandoned school on it. The news is still reporting live on the murder. Looks like they have a reporter on the scene. What did you find? There are 3 victims. They're all ghost hunter friends. Ghost hunters? Yeah, people who enter haunted places to record or witness the presence of ghosts. Yeah, sounds pretty fun. It is. Except when the ghosts get you. Anyway, it looks like they were exploring this abandoned school building. They run a pretty popular occult forum on the internet. They did some investigation on the school tonight. They were going to record audio and video material inside the school. They were all high school students. Alright, the school. It's a pretty famous abandoned place. I found plenty of material on the internet. The school was involved in a fire a few years ago. Some of the students died. And also some rumors of weird rose vines and animal experiments going on there. They tried to renovate it after the fire, but it was never finished. Work stopped on the construction site for some reason, and then it was abandoned. The rumor is that the workers were spooked by the ghost of a student who died in the fire. People claim to have seen strange lights coming from the school at night. I can see how this could attract occult fanatics. What was the cause of death? The victims were burned alive. The bodies are almost unrecognizable. How were they identified then? Well, they posted about their plans on the internet a few hours before. I checked. It's on their forum. Also, it appears that some of their belongings are intact. Bags with ID cards, some weird audio equipment, and a camcorder were found at the scene. You said they were burned. How exactly did that happen? It's weird. I couldn't find much. It looks like there are no traces of a fire or any combustibles in the area. They just caught on fire then. Could it be a case of auto-combustion? Spontaneous combustion? We don't have enough clues. The room they were found in is weird too. It was the old AV room. Almost everything was destroyed in that room. Glass from the television and computer screens is all over the floor. Looks like someone broke them with a baseball bat or something. That could have just been some vandal. Also strange, some of their radio equipment seems to be broken too. The time of death. Why do you think this is our guy? He said he would kill at midnight Eastern time. Of course, only the autopsy will tell us for certain. But it looks like there was an anonymous tip to the police a few minutes before the murder. Someone told the police where and when to find the bodies. When they went to the scene, they saw what seemed like a fire and a black car leaving the school. Someone was there. Anything strange? Plenty of strange. Like I said, some of the victims' belongings were found at the scene. What's strange is that all the recorded material is missing. No audio or videotapes. A classic. But I was wondering, why did they bring radio equipment with them too? Are there ghosts in the ether? Well, kinda. It is said that sometimes ghosts can communicate via radio waves. Sometimes their voice is hidden in white noise. Some say it's just reflected signals bouncing back. Look at the picture. You can see a big antenna near the school. Maybe it's related to the radio research. These people are just weirdos. Speaking of that, some of the accounts on that site are suspicious. How? Look at these posts. This is the thread in which they were talking about the school legend and how they were going to document it. Some of the victims replied to the thread. What's weird is their messages counter. It looks like they haven't posted prior to this day. And yet, they were the founders of the site. Maybe they just lost their passwords and made a new account? Yes, but in that case, there still should be a trace of their old profiles. Or maybe they deleted the old profiles themselves. Strange. Also, we have 2 accounts talking about documenting the school. The victims were 3. Who is this 3rd guy? Alright, let's speculate. The radio signals. Do you think the missing tapes in the radio are important? Have you ever heard of radio ghosts? There's a ghost for everything these days. The phenomenon was observed since the early 20s. At first, radio engineers report to have heard strange echoes in radio transmission. As you probably know, an echo is to be expected in radio communications. After the original transmission, the signal will get back to you after going around the Earth in about 0.7 seconds. But there are some strange echoes called LDE, long delayed echoes, which take longer, more than 3 seconds. That's about the time it would take to make several trips around the Earth. So what? To this day, there is not a scientific explanation for these signals. Some say that it's an effect of Earth's magnetic fields. Another explanation could be that the signals are being reflected from space. Maybe it's just astronauts or someone else is trying to communicate with us from outer space. It's just some weird radio thing. I will never understand the point of radio amateurs. The forum. Seems like these forums are popping up everywhere. True, everyone can make a forum nowadays. Earlier this year, PHPBS made their code available for everyone to use. You just have to register and you can create your forum right away. Is this like a chat? It's a bit different. Forums are more about a community. Everything is organized in sections, topics, quotes. You can write longer texts, so maybe stories, news, discussions? I guess that's what makes it popular among occult fans. There's also a precise hierarchy between the users. Admins, moderators, normal users. That's why I think these posts are suspicious. They should have hundreds of messages already, but instead they have like 4 or 5. Alright, let's start the broadcast. You know what? I think we should share this on the show. Oh? Are you sure? We will have to scrap our previous material. People are gonna love it. I think you're right. Let's do this. So, the case is called Corpse School. I think we can come up with something better. What? There's no time. Corpse School is a great name. But... And with that, we went back on air for the second part of our show. Welcome back to Undead Air. I bet you all already saw it on the news. The Corpse School case. I know, I'm sure you all have a lot of questions right now. But first, let's try to put things in order. It was a group of friends with a passion for the occult. Just a bunch of high school kids, really. Watched too many horror movies. So someday, they decide to make their own movie by going to the spooky abandoned school in their town on Devil's Night nonetheless. Legend has it that a fire destroyed the school several years ago. Students died. Reconstruction of the building started soon after, but for some reason, the workers never finished the job. Since that time, strange lights can be seen sometimes at night coming from the school. The school had a secret. Flash forward to tonight. The police get an anonymous call telling them where and when to find the alleged ghost hunters. When they arrive on the scene, they find a black car leaving and traces of what could be a fire. But when they enter, they find the 3 kids dead, burned to a crisp, almost unrecognizable. What do you think really happened? I was thinking, why the anonymous call? Do ghosts need to call the police? Well, let me tell you, someone very real is involved in this. And now, I think it's time to hear your opinions. Let's see who's on the line. School ghost, Area 51 worker, antenna. Let's go with antenna. It was the antenna. The antenna behind the school. I was there the other day. The radio waves made me do something horrible. Oh. No, wait, no, that's not what he... I don't want to know about that, thank you. And with that, we go to the next segment. The second part of tonight's documentary. Oh? Looks like we have time for another call. Hello? It's me. Thank you for taking this seriously. As you can see, 3 people died at midnight. But if you want to know more, you'll have to look at what's inside their bodies. What do you mean? In the meantime, why don't you check around the FM town antenna near Central Time Hospital? You'll find a surprise there. Another murder. They hung up. And with this cliffhanger, we leave you to a short commercial break. The Ritual of Fiction. I think I got the name for our first case. The official name is Corpse School, okay? Hear this. Devil's Prom Night. Lame. Arr. What about this? Ghost Hunted. Please stop. A Vicious Room? I'm reevaluating Devil Prom Night. Your phone. It's the manager. I'm sorry, I've made a terrible mistake. I forgot that you had a separate studio. I went to the main radio building. Oh, I see. Don't worry. I'm coming over. Please be extra careful. Don't trust anyone. Are you sure this is real? He hung up. Oh? Who could that be? The manager? I opened the door. We need to talk. What happened? I have some new info on our case. Corpse School? What a dumb name. Who came up with that? He did. I see. The name is not important. What did you find? I listened to the radio while coming here. The killer was right. We found something else inside the victims. This is just a preliminary exam, but There's no doubt about it. We found VHS tapes inside their stomach. Oh my god, that's hardcore. What? How did he do it? But are you sure you want to know the details? This is quite heavy stuff. Tell me everything. Fine. We're still not sure. It looks like they ate the tape before dying. The killer couldn't possibly do it on their own, so they probably ingested it. Some of the tape is even corroded, indicating that it was being digested as well. That puts the time of death earlier than midnight. I knew it! Someone is screwing with us. This is just a big farce. This is weird. You bet it is. No, I mean, it's just like that rumor. What are you talking about? Don't you remember? We did a special episode on it. Did we? The ritual of fiction. This is news to me. At midnight on Devil's Night, an evil act will be performed. What is unreal will become real. At midnight on Devil's Night, an evil act will be performed. An evil act will be performed. An evil act will be performed. Oh, I remember now. It's an old urban legend. Some people believe they can summon fictional characters to reality. Fictional characters? Yes, like movie characters or your imaginary friends. It's called tulpa. It's a Buddhist concept. The materialization of thought, achieved by intense spiritual training. What does this have to do with the serial killer? Some time ago, a rumor began spreading on the internet. It was shortly after that radio incident a year ago. Yeah, I heard about it. A famous radio host was killed live by a psychopath. Yes. Well, a bunch of theories began spreading on the internet. The rumor said that it was some kind of ritualistic killing in order to summon a tulpa. What? Are you sure? It's just a rumor. But the interesting part is that, according to the rumor, the killer achieved their goal. So there's an imaginary being wandering around town. There's no way that this is real, right? The murder happened on October 30th, Devil's Night. There's several versions of the ritual, but they all say that to summon a tulpa, you have to kill on Devil's Night. But this killer's MO. It reminds me of a specific version of the ritual. The ritual of fiction. In order to summon a fictional character of your choice, you have to kill at midnight during Devil's Night. But there's another thing you have to do. You have to feed your victim with content. Feed them with books, movies, tapes, by literally shoving those things down their throat. Ugh, stop this. It looks like he's gonna puke. This is nonsense. And a show. Don't you get it? You're feeding these rumors. Oh, please, it's just an urban legend. A fairy tale, like a story or a movie. Some people can't tell between fiction and reality. Anyway, this will help us in the investigation. I hope we can catch this guy before it's too late. Are you worried they might summon something bad? I'm worried they might kill again. Ah, right. Who? Were you expecting someone? The manager. Oh, right. FBI, open up! What? What the hell? I opened the door. Who's this? This guy looks like he came straight out of a movie. What is the police doing here? We're in charge of this case. I'll take it from here. My ass. That's not how it works. Look, kid. This is way bigger than police. How dare you? Whoa, hey, stop. I've seen this trope too many times. Let's just work together to solve this, okay? I agree. We don't have much time. I have some questions for you. Me? Yes. What were you doing between 8:30 p.m. and 10 p.m. tonight? What? I was on the radio. Is that your alibi? Alibi? Am I a suspect now? Maybe. What are you talking about? Did you experience anything strange during your broadcast? Equipment malfunction, audio interference, or something similar? I don't think so. Good. Officer, I need you to go to the crime scene. I don't take orders from you, and I already know everything about the scene. I meant the new crime scene. Our killer is back. Are you sure? Yes. I'll check the radio station. Don't move. I'll be back. I'll be back. He left outside in a hurry. Why is the FBI involved in this? This is clearly a serial killer. We literally invented that term. Yeah, that's true. This doesn't make any sense, though. What's the reason for this killer wanting me dead? What is the reason for all these murders? What? What are they trying to achieve? It was Agent Robert Ressler, together with his colleague, John E. Douglas, in 1974. I was there. I was their teacher. After talking with 36 of the most dangerous criminals in the country, I came to a shocking realization. There isn't always a motive. What do you mean? Serial killers. They don't always have a precise goal. What's more important is their psychology. What were they thinking? What did they go through? This is what we must investigate. There are 3 types of serial killers: organized, disorganized, or mixed. What do you think your serial killer is? I'd say organized. It is the most logic observation. So far, the killer has covered their tracks. And it looks like they planned this very meticulously. We even have a time schedule for the killings. Chapter 3, Dive Bomb. The detective insisted on leaving the studio to talk about the new case. Gave us a talk about not feeling comfortable around microphones and computers. I've seen that type of paranoia countless times. But, since we still had several minutes before our next segment, we agreed. We went to the nearby diner to get something to eat. You said there's another victim? What happened exactly? This can't be real. The victim. The victim is the famous guitarist, Philip Henry John. No way! Did you know him? Their band is legendary. He was found on top of a tall radio tower. He was electrocuted to death. His face almost melted. He was last seen in the area at a local club. Witnesses said that he was drunk or under the influence of drugs. Yeah, I heard he was going through a bad moment after the death of his fellow band members. He completely stopped making music until a few months ago. He announced that a new album would come out, with never-heard-before songs. He was last seen on surveillance cameras leaving a club and falling asleep inside a dumpster. A garbage truck came to pick up the dumpster. After that, we have no traces of Philip Henry John. Until your serial killer called on the radio with that tip. Alright, now tell us about the band. It was a pretty famous band in the melodic trash, satanic heavy symphonic lo-fi grit early baroque sci-fi progressive jazz classical indie Gregorian choral electric punk improv soft metal scene. What? Or simply they were called MAPS, or MAPS. Unfortunately, 3 of the 4 members died in a car accident not a long time ago. Philip Henry John was the only survivor. After the incident, he was acting strange. He said he was haunted by the dead members of the band. That's when he went on hiatus. After a short period of silence, he came out with a solo album. The album was a hit. He became a star overnight. Many thought that he just used unfinished songs from the dead band members. Philip Henry John wasn't a great musician, that's why the rumor spread. It makes sense. But that's not the only thing the band is famous for. After all, it's the reason why I love their music. It all started when they included a ghost track in their first CD. When you played that track backwards, it contained coordinates. Apparently, those coordinates gave life to an elaborate ARG that is still unsolved today. ARG? Alternate reality game? It's like a mystery game that is to be solved in real life. Crazy. Cause of death. Like I said, it looks like the victim was electrocuted to death. But is touching an antenna really that dangerous? I've looked into this. The most common effect would be a radiation burn. But electrocution is also possible if for some reason the power line is in contact with the antenna. I see. There are 2 possible explanations. Either the victim stayed on the tower for a very long time, or someone messed with the antenna. The time of death. It would take some time to die like that. The killer's objective is to kill at midnight. Are you sure this is their doing? And there's another event that points to that conclusion. On midnight Central Time, a strange phenomenon happened. It was a short case of radio dead silence at the local radio station. It lasted about a minute, so it alerted the local authorities. So you think someone caused the dead air effect during that time? It could be. Now that I remember, the manager said that something similar happened earlier tonight. Anything strange? I almost forgot. Traces of VHS tape were found inside the body. Damn. So the cases are linked. Currently, we're trying to reconstruct those tapes to see what was on it. The FBI can do that? Of course. The position of the corpse is strange, too. It looks like he was climbing the tower. What, on his own? We're not sure. Maybe he was trying to reach the top for some reason. Let's look around. It's a late-night special about that island that was found. Back on Protopia Island, researchers found the remains of what appears to be a hotel building. Until now, the island was thought to be uninhabited. Let's get back to our expert on the case. The detective. Looks like someone who knows his stuff. But the eye patch. That's a bit too much. The poster. Another missing person poster. I've been seeing these around town a lot lately. The lost chupacabra. Alright, it's time to speculate. The ghost track. What's a ghost track? Usually it's an hidden track you find at the end of an album. On the last track of the CD, a long silence is added before another song inside the same track. That's how many of the oddities of the band were born. But they were famous for including secret audio inside the silence too. Do people even listen for this stuff? Well, hell yeah. I read an interview once. They said they heard their songs in their dreams. They claim their music is coming from space, so they are some kind of celestial envoys. Messengers from the stars. It's just some kind of marketing strategy, I guess. Actually, they're not the first musicians to claim that. Composer Karl-Heinz Stockhausen said the same thing. He was fascinated with the concept of cosmic vibrations and echoes. Works like Cosmic Pulses, Contacte, Mantra. They were all cited as inspiration for the band's music. The tape. The act of eating VHS tape could be seen as an act of consumption. In our time, everything is content, consumable, disposable media. Back in the days, you had to go to a theater to watch a movie, and then it was gone. Now you can watch all the movies you want, one after another. You seem to know a lot about this art philosophy stuff. FBI. Alright, it's time to go back on air. I need you to do something. I want to be in the studio with you. In case the killer calls again. I will try to track the call. Is this really necessary? FBI. That's it, nothing else. Okay, I got it. I don't really have a choice. You said it. Alright, I'll explain to you everything. Try not to make any noises while we're on. Just before going live, the news reported about the latest murder. Welcome back to Undead Air. It looks like another murder was committed on Devil's Night. We will call this case Dive Bomb. The FBI detective is sitting across me, listening with attention. The famous musician was found dead on top of an antenna tower. The investigation is still ongoing, but it looks like we have a serial killer on the loose. Actually, I'm still not sure they fit the definition for being a serial killer. I think you need at least 2 murders to get that. But they fit the other parameters. A short period of time before each killing. And there is not a clear motive so far. I'm starting to make my own theory about this. But I think it's more interesting to hear your theories. So please call our number and we will be happy to hear you solve this case. In the meantime, it's time for our reviews segment. Tonight, I wanted to talk to you about a book and a movie we've watched recently. The book I'm talking about is The Secret Planet by Anonymous. In this book, the author is talking about a secret planet in our solar system. What's interesting is that the author claims to have visited that planet. In the book, he describes how he traveled to this hidden planet with what he calls astral form. It's a weird mix between sci-fi and spiritualism, but I think it's a good read. As for the movie, we have Sleepy Hills. The protagonist is a serial killer who murders people who go to bed early. After secret sleep deprivation experiments were performed on him, he started having delusions. The movie could also be seen as a critique to modern-day society. A society in which time is incredibly filled with work or stress without time to rest. The movie is out on VHS too. Back to our case now. Alright, it's time for phone calls. Let's go. Let's see who's on the line. Agatha crime scene. How did the musician reach the tower if he was last seen drunk? That would be an incredible feat for a drunk person. Something is not right. What if someone put it there? Okay, time for another call. Are you enjoying the show so far? It looks like you're enjoying this. After all, that's your job, right? Monsters, serial killers, deaths. This is all a game, what? This is the FBI. Listen up. I can't believe this is happening for real. I didn't even have time to react. Without me noticing, the detective suddenly grabbed the microphone and started talking to the killer. People call you killer, monster, maniac. But during these years, I think I know what you are. Maybe I even understand you. I know you are just a slave. What? What is he talking about? A nightmare from a long time ago. I know that you have lived a life of suspect and mistrust. I'm not gonna lie to you. Not now, nor after you will be ready to turn yourself in. You know how, when, and where to find me. I'll be waiting. Chapter 4: The Locked Room. What the hell was that? How is this supposed to track the call? I've studied criminal psychology even before you were born. You are a mere zygote to my ways. I know how to deal with evil. The case is almost solved. Solved? Care to explain, oh mighty FBI? If you even are that. There's no time. You're in danger. Be extra careful when the killer calls again. It's his phone. FBI? Yes, it's me. Yes, sir. Yes, everything is going according to plan. Got it. I'll move to the location immediately. He closed the call. I must go. Now? Yes. Don't worry, the police are on the case. The officer who contacted you is on his way to help. But it was too late. He was already outside. First the cops, now FBI? This thing is getting too big for us. We've been receiving calls and faxes non-stop since the last murder. We should keep reporting on this for our last segment. Maybe we could do a recap of the cases? Are there any new infos about the murders? Let me see. Oh boy, you're not gonna believe this. What happened? It's the second victim. Turns out he's not a victim anymore. Philip Henry John is alive talking on TV right now. I rushed to the TV and turned it on. The news was on. It was some kind of press conference. The victim of the second murder, Philip Henry John, was speaking. The headline was, "Back from the dead to give the living haircuts." No, I repeat, this is not part of a prank or promotion for my album. I'm not involved with this. This person on camera was not me. I'm alive! What the heck is going on? From what I understand, he was found in a dump. Philip Henry John was last seen on camera before the murder, falling asleep in a dumpster. Yeah, I remember that. Well, apparently, he ended up in that dumpster, but he started wandering when he woke up. That's why they didn't find him. But whose was the corpse that was found on the antenna? I don't know. I'll investigate. Whatever. This is shocking news on its own. It was that forum again. Of course someone made a thread about the murders. The thread was already over 100 pages long. Hear this. There's some updates on the first case, the school. The autopsy was performed. This doesn't make any sense, but they say one of the victims fits the description of a missing person. Could it be one of those fake accounts? I don't think so. It was a missing person from the apartment fire 2 weeks ago. What? The one that happened in our town? Yes. How did they end up there? I don't know. I knew this was BS. The computer. How can people spend so much time writing at the computer? Pages and pages of trivial infos, theories, and stupid jokes. This is the real horror. Audio guy. She's trying hard to figure this out. But now that we have more concrete evidence, I don't know. She looks kinda disappointed that no paranormal stuff has happened yet. Look, if it was paranormal stuff, that would mean that we would be absolutely screwed. One of the first victims was identified. The description seems to fit that of a missing person from the recent apartment fire nearby. But did they survive the fire? And how? At the same time, the victim of the second case came back from the dead. Turns out he was alive all this time. Who is the real victim, then? I honestly don't have any ideas. I couldn't tell you. Anyway, let's start the broadcast. Who is it? Was that the doorbell? Since when do we have a doorbell? But I'll check anyway. It was the cop. We need to talk. It was another murder. I knew it. Let's go over the details. But there's no time. We need to go on air right now. This is more important. Damn. Wait. I've got an idea. We will talk about the murder on air. What? I don't think this is appropriate. It's our show, and we will do this however we want it. Oh yeah, this could work. What are you gonna do about it? Arrest me? Welcome back to the show. This is a very special episode, I know. You can consider this a breaking news edition. Our killer has hit again. Another murder at midnight Mountain Time. Here with us, to talk about the case, we have none other than the agent in charge of this mess. Please tell us about this last murder. The last case. This is starting to get interesting. The victim is an FBI detective who was on the case as well. What the heck? The detective left just some time ago. Are we talking about the same detective? Can you tell us more about this detective? Yes. He was quite the extravagant agent. He was famous for his unorthodox methods and his love for being in the spotlight. He worked on a lot of famous cases, mostly serial killers, since he claimed to be an expert on the subject. From what I know, he never solved the case. How can we be so sure of this victim's identity? We have the check-in information from the hotel he was killed in. He also appeared on camera, and several witnesses have seen him. This is starting to get interesting. Alright, what was the cause of death? How was he killed? Same MO we've come to know. Body was found carbonized, almost unrecognizable except for clothes and a badge. Like in the other murders, VHS tape was found in his stomach. The room was locked, so everything must have happened inside. The fire alarm didn't go off, so it's unknown how the fire started. Alright, the time of death. Tell us everything from the beginning. The detective arrived at the hotel earlier tonight. He had a suitcase with him. After checking in, he went to his room. He was seen leaving the room sometime later, wandering around the hotel. He went back to his room later. The fact that he was in the room during the time of death is confirmed. Apparently, he requested some TV services. Everything checks out. Around midnight, some of the hotel clients called security. Loud noises and a weird tone were coming from the room. Looks like both TV and radio were on at full volume. When security arrived, the door was locked from the inside. The door could only be opened with a pass part out? But even when they tried, it looked like it was stuck. That's when the police came. They broke in. They found the body, burnt on the bed. Nothing was in the room except for an empty suitcase. So maybe the killer stole the contents of the suitcase? We can't know for sure. Anything strange? Well, the way the room was locked, security should have been able to open it without breaking in. The door had to be almost destroyed in order to get inside. And what about the empty suitcase? Do you think it could be relevant? It could be. We still don't know what was in it. Alright, time to speculate. I have to say, this is literally a locked room mystery. I don't watch anime. None of that weeaboo stuff. None of that Gurren Lagann. Why don't we try solving it? The first thing to figure out is, how did the killer get into the room? And how did they escape? Maybe he was with the detective? No, he would have appeared on camera. True. What if they were already inside the room? Could be, but still doesn't explain how they escaped. Yeah, the locked door. Oh yes, I was thinking. You said police had to break in, damaging the door. What if it was already damaged by the killer? What do you mean? Maybe the killer broke in even before the police. Yeah, that would work. So you think that the killer locked the door, and then broke in again to damage it? Yes. That way, it would appear as a locked room, but they would have been able to enter again. Yeah, and the police wouldn't have noticed the damage. Pretty clever. This is getting interesting. Yes, but what about the murder? It happened inside the room, and yet no signs of burning. The fire alarm didn't go off. I see. Maybe the killer brought the corpse with them. It would have been seen on the camera. But... yes. I got it. The suitcase. The body was inside the suitcase. Yes, it must be this way. I knew this was some real crime crap. The corpses, the murders, everything was staged. Someone just got hold of the corpses and set everything up. This could also explain how the killer was able to kill so fast in several locations. They never moved. But who could have access to dead bodies? Would you happen to know about this cop? This is quite the theory, but this means that the killer is the detective then. True. The detective could have had access to the crime scenes or the morgue. But why didn't anyone notice those missing corpses? I can't believe the same detective who left a few minutes ago was found dead in his hotel. Are we sure we're talking about the same detective? Well, isn't this exciting? In the meantime, I'd like to remember that you can call any time. Maybe you saw something. Maybe you were at the hotel. We can't wait to hear from you. This could clear things up. Uh-oh. What's wrong now? The audio guy fell asleep? Hey, what's wrong? No response. What the heck? Now that I think about it, she was acting strange before. Wake up! Oh? My phone was vibrating. A message? I solved the case. You're in danger. The cop on your case is not a cop. He was fired 2 weeks ago after tampering with a crime scene. Call me ASAP. FBI. What? Something wrong? No, let's go on. What did he mean? Looks like we have a call. Hello? Yes, I'm the hotel manager. The hotel in which the detective was killed. Oh, incredible. Maybe this guy could know. Did you see anything? I can confirm what you said on the air. The detective checked in, went into the room, and then out. It's all on camera. I've seen the video. Oh. Can you describe to us the detective? Yes, he was just a regular guy. Didn't have any distinguishing marks. Are you sure? Did he have an eye patch, maybe? No, I'm pretty sure. I would have noticed that. So it was not the FBI detective. I don't know. To me, he looked just like a regular dog. A dog? Don't move. Who the hell are you? Trick or treat. Bruh. Don't you remember me? We used to play all summer. We were little. I will never forget those summers. Life was simpler back then. But then it would come fall. And then school. And then Halloween. All those months. My friends would watch movies or go out in the night having fun. I was alone. My mother didn't like Halloween. She thought it was a bad influence. And she was right. With time, I understood. After I became a cop, I couldn't believe what I saw. I couldn't make sense of it. Violence. It didn't make sense. People killing, stealing, hurting each other. Why? I've seen terrible things. And then I understood. My mom was right. It's the devil. The devil is tempting us. It's not just some magic or mind trick. The devil is real. Movies, stories, games. Don't you understand? What is masked as fun or entertainment is making us evil by the day. And you keep making things worse. You're a psychopath. Me? I didn't kill anyone. All those bodies were already dead. I found them in the apartment that went on fire. There was nothing left to do for them. But you. Maybe when you'll die, people will understand what this path leads to. Ending A, Crime Unit. Yeah, I had a feeling. After all, they only said a detective, specifically that. Yeah. Well, it's good to know that it wasn't some actual spooky stuff happening. Just your classical serial killer stuff. Alright, that was ending A, which means that we have, I think, 3 more endings to go, so I will be right back with that. You know what, while we're at it, let's also do some of the other calls. I just wanted to say that. Oh, right, thank you, okay. We don't need to hear any more conspiracy theories. I don't have time to lose. Dude, think about your life. Think about how you're wasting it. And with that, I think our time is over. Alright, let's go with the paranormal feel. And this is it. The spirits are coming to get you. About time. Happy Halloween to you too. Ghost +1, Alien +1, Psi +1. Time for another call. What do you think really happened? I think it was the paranormal. There are a lot of unexplained phenomena in this case. First, the cause of death. The victims were burned. But how? No combustibles or traces of fire were found on the scene. Did they just catch fire on their own? Another strange thing is what was and wasn't found on the scene. Most of the victims' belongings were found, including their bags with their weird video, audio, and radio equipment. But it looks like all recorded material is gone. Could this be related to the black car leaving the area before the arrival of the police? Next up is Steven. They shouldn't have messed with the school ghost. That place is hiding something terrible. Leave it alone. Yeah, sure. Ghost +1. And with that, we go to the next segment. I think it's mixed. I see. Some parts in this case look like they're staged. Some aspects, though, they seem completely unexplainable. And then Edgar. The second victim was trying to stop the radio waves. Don't you see it? They're communicating with us. They are superior beings. Ghost +1, Alien +1, Psi +1. Is that something I'm supposed to be keeping track of? What should we do? I don't know. Who the hell was that guy? Looks like he knew something. For some reason, I think I've seen him before. But when? Maybe in your previous job? Maybe he worked on some case you covered? You might be right. In that case, I should call a friend from the magazine. If there's someone who can know about this, it's him. Okay, let's try. Hello, it's me. Sorry for bothering at this time of the night, but I think it's important. Yes. Oh? You were listening to the show? But I thought you hated... Oh. Yes, it's that FBI agent. I knew it. Wait, I'll put you on speaker. A reporter started talking from the phone.
This guy is a complete fraud. He's quite famous for his failed investigations. He was on a lot of cases we covered on the magazine. That stunt with the killer on the phone? That's not the first time he tries doing something like that. He's obsessed with getting in contact with serial killers he's investigating. And he can't resist journalists, TV, or radio. Everything is good for showing off. I can't believe a guy like that is working for the FBI. That's why there are a few rumors about him. Some say that he's just a crazy guy, maybe private investigator or ex-cop. It is also possible that he creates cases for him to solve. Like Look at Me? After all, he never caught any criminal from what I remember. Maybe he just orchestrated the whole thing. Don't trust him.
You're right, now I remember. When was the last time I saw him?
It was about 1 year ago, I think. The murder at the radio.
What? He was on that case?
Yes. It was never solved, of course.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy that you listened to our show.
Yeah. Be careful.
Yes, sure. Bye. FBI. Huh? The manager is calling again. I wonder where he ended up this time. Hello, boss? Hello? Silence. What's wrong? I don't know. Maybe he just pressed the call button by accident? I hung up. This is weird, though. He should be here by now. Maybe we should check with the station and see what they know? If you say so. The radio station number was on speed dial. I called with our studio phone to see what's up. Hello? It's me. Have you seen the radio manager? He said he was coming to the studio, but he's not here. The manager? You don't know? Know what? The manager was in a car accident. He didn't make it. When did this happen? It was this morning, I think, around 8 a.m.? It was on the news. What the hell? All right, thank you. The manager is dead? What do you mean the manager is dead? Who were we talking to then? I don't know. This is getting creepy. Slow down, I'm sure there was a mistake. I need a break. I needed some fresh air and the cake, so we went back to the diner before going back on air. This cake is too sweet. Should have tried cheesecake instead. Wah. That FBI guy was BS, but now I'm even more confused than before. Whatever. I'm sure this is just some psychopath calling. It could be anything. Copycats, criminals, incidents. Yeah, but you have to admit, something's not right. What do you mean? Let's go over the murders again. Corpse School. A group of ghost hunters mysteriously dies while investigating an abandoned school. Despite having audio-video equipment with them, no tape or documentation was found. Everything in the room is broken, including their weird radio equipment. Dive bomb. Famous guitarist dies electrocuted on top of an antenna. Seems like he climbed it on his own. What was he trying to do? But wait, there's actually another case we could talk about. Huh? You mean the murder at the radio station 1 year ago? Yes. What if this is related to our serial killer? Small talk. Small talk? Can we just use a more original name for this case? Please, there's no time. Alright. Well, there's not much to say about this one. Some psychopath called during small talk. They mumbled something about radio waves messing with their head, and then turns out they were actually inside the studio. After neutralizing the staff, they detonated a bomb and killed everyone. A bomb. Like, this wasn't just them inside the studio, it was a bomb. That's the link with our guy. Well, I think we can check Psychopath Call's radio program. Yeah. I don't know about that stuff about radio waves and the brain. Time to speculate. There's still something that bugs me. How did the killer manage to travel so fast? We're talking about hours by car. Do they have a plane or something? And even then. Well, there was that case about the vampire aviator. That was clearly BS. I don't know then. Let's try to start from the beginning. What do the murders have in common? Radio. Yes. Radio seems to be the common thread in these murders. We could also call our killer the Radio Killer. Hey, not so fast. Don't you think this is an important clue? Remember the school photo? You can see a radio tower in the distance. The dive bomb murder literally happened on a radio tower, and the small talk murder in a radio station. Looks like the killer is obsessed with radio. It is the most appropriate format of entertainment, according to one particular individual. You also must admit that a lot of things changed at the station since that incident. You could almost say our program is a fruit of those changes. What do you mean? Huh? It's my phone. What? The manager is calling? Quick, pick it up. Hello? This is me. I've made a terrible mistake. I was trying to solve this on my own, but... Boss, what happened to you? They told us you died in that accident this morning. It's okay now. I'm with the killer. I'm coming over. We will end this tonight. I will. What are you doing? Stop! Boss! Hello? It's just static noise. The call ends. If this is a prank, I swear. Oh no, look at the time. Could this be their third murder? I don't know. It was just on the phone and... Isn't the manager already supposed to be dead? We should get back to the studio to get more information before we go back on air. Alright, let's go. When we came back to the studio, the cop was waiting for us. I have some new info on the case. We found the radio manager dead in his car. What a strange situation. What happened? Are you sure you want to know? I warn you, this is not for kids. Please, tell us. Okay. The victim is FM Town Radio's manager. Is found dead in his car, burnt to death. It was alone. The car was locked from the inside. The radio was on. When he was found, it was emitting just static noise. The car. Hey, what was the car like? I know what you mean. Yes, he had a black car. Probably the same that was seen fleeing from the first crime scene. What was he trying to do? Is the manager the killer? We can't say for sure. Cause of death. There is no way to determine that. The door was locked, so he must have burned inside. There are no signs of fire, though. Maybe the killer was with him? That's what he said on the phone. He was alone. Just him and the radio. They checked the car. It was not tampered with. No poisonous gas, no sabotage. Time of death. Do you think this could have happened earlier today? It could be so. The radio said the manager died in a car accident, though. Well, technically he did. Anything strange? Like I said, there is the detail of the radio. The radio was on, but it was just emitting static noise. Maybe it was damaged, or it switched frequency. We don't know what he was listening to. And another thing. Despite it being charred, the corpse was extremely cold. Almost hibernated. It's not clear how it could have happened. Let's take a look at Audio Guy. Oh god, is she excited. You can tell this ghost stuff is her favorite theory. After all, it's her hobby too. Cop. The cop looks genuinely freaked out by this. You would think a police officer would be trained to deal with violence and gory details. I guess you never get used to it. Alright, it's time to speculate. The radio. I have a theory. Hear me out. Oh, this is going to be good. What do you mean? Nothing. Go on. So, let's say this is a locked room mystery. Usually in those mysteries, everything looks locked, but there's always a clue. We know that the killer didn't enter or exit the vehicle, but what if he could? How? By being dead? I knew it. Ghosts can go in and out of everything. What made you think of this theory? Well, let's assume the manager really died in a car accident this morning. How did he manage to call you? By being a ghost? Via electromagnetic waves. In other words, radio. You know what they say. When you die, energy gets released. What if that energy somehow turns into waves? Are surrounded by waves? It's not far-fetched to think radio waves could be haunted too. Do you think so? I guess this could explain another problem I have with this case. How did the killer pull this off? I mean, there is no way they were able to travel so fast across the country. But if they travel through radio waves, it would be much faster. Ghost criminals. That's what I needed. A ghost haunting the radio. Are we in danger? Alright, I can't say I've not enjoyed this. But it's time to end the show. I must go back on air. Do you think the killer will call again? Only one way to find out. What a night it has been. I'm sure you've enjoyed this as much as I did. And I have to admit, we had collected a lot of stories and materials for tonight, but this is one of those cases in which reality surpasses fiction. This case in particular, I think it all started a year ago. This guy, he could hear something in the radio. Malicious waves. He couldn't bear those waves, so they had to be stopped. A year ago, this guy infiltrated our radio station and killed Undead Air. Was that an attempt to stop the waves? Anyway, he got killed while doing that, but what if he survived in some way? Ghosts are often born from souls who are looking for vengeance. Souls who died on accidents. Maybe a school fire? or a car accident. What I want to say is, what if the souls are still here with us, floating in the ether? Radio is intangible by definition. How can you know that the voice talking to you really exists in this world? I'm just a presence in your radio speakers, but I'm not actually there with you. You can't touch me. You can't see me. Radio is pure spirit. It's like talking to a ghost. Well done. I liked your explanation. I was waiting for you. It's midnight and you didn't show up. What's up with that? Oh, but I was right here. I am here. I was with you the whole time. What? Where? On your desk. I have a present for you. What the hell? They were here the whole time? Let's think. What did they mean by this? They were here all this time? Where? Snail toy, have you betrayed me at last? This is the toy that hobo guy gave me some time ago. Wait, could it be? 2 months later. Was it really the snail toy? Yes, sir, the report is complete. There was a bomb inside the toy. We weren't able to identify the hobo who gave it to the host. Yes, the manager. He was hiding something. We haven't gained access to his computer yet, but we did find some paper documents. He was actually a researcher that was thought dead several years ago. Looks like he was studying the effect of electromagnetic waves on the brain. A pretty occultic line of research, if you ask me. I've also found schematics for a weird device that looks like a phone keypad. It is still unclear what it was used for, but something must have happened. That's why he was trying to cover everything up. During the night of the murders, he traveled to every crime scene. Was he trying to stop the killer? Yes, sir. Yes, the killer is still on the loose. For the time being, we'll stay on radio silence. Ending B, the haunted waves. Interesting. So it is a different scenario, it's not just the same. Okay, Rita, Violet Media, what have you got? Hello, who's on the phone? It's me, yes? I wanted to talk about this Violet Media ban act. Yes, please tell us. I'm against censorship, of course, but I also wonder, we already live in a violent society. Don't you think having these violent movies could make things worse? I don't want movies to give ideas to serial killers. I see. Yes, that's an interesting point. Thank you. But still, I must say, can't people tell a movie from reality? Have you ever seen one of those horror movies? Most of the characters are plain dumb, always getting killed in incredibly stupid ways. No way that could happen in real life. No way this is real. We'll see what happens at midnight Eastern Time. I see. He also mentioned some technical problems with our station tonight. Could be anything. Yeah? My phone is ringing. Oh god, even the police are involved. I feel safer now that a cop is on our case. Police resources wasted on a stupid Halloween prank. Corrado, the Area 51 worker. I work at Area 51. I can't tell you everything, but I think they saw something in that school. Something that should stay a secret. Can you tell us where Area 51 is? I don't work there anymore. Alien +1. And with that, we go to the next segment. It's disorganized. Interesting pick. I wouldn't say the killer's disorganized since he called you to announce their plan. But I agree, there's something on the scene. Something unexplained. Something paranormal? No comment. How... How can you just sit there eating pizza? Pizza tastes better at night. I had pizza at lunch once. Illegal. I ordered a simple cheeseburger with a cappuccino while she ordered the whole pizza just for herself. First the murderers, now the manager. That FBI guy must know something. Average conspiracy theory. Think about it. Why is the FBI involved in a random murder case? That's what I've been wondering. Why? Just a random murder case. There must be something more to it. Let's go over the murders again. Group of ghost hunters dies while investigating an abandoned school. What if they filmed or recorded something that shouldn't be seen or heard? Heck, someone even broke every screen and video equipment in an AV room where they were found. Dive bomb. Famous guitarist dies, electrocuted on top of an antenna. How is he involved in this conspiracy? The music. Maybe there's something in the music. You mean those weird secret tracks? Remember what they said? Messenger of the stars. Don't tell me. Aliens. You can't be serious. Aliens are dumb. They are not. Earth drama is far better. Hey, you don't know what type of dramas there are in the alien society. And real. Aliens are real. This is a fact. Do you know about the SETI Institute? It's a program that aims to find life in the universe. By listening. I remember it now. They built that huge antenna for space. Did they ever hear from aliens? Not yet. But what if the others did? Maybe radio amateurs are just normal people, getting access to information the government doesn't want you to know. Yeah, but getting to the point of killing them. The world isn't ready for alien life yet. What do the murders have in common? Radio? Yes, radio seems to be the common thread. But what's most important? What's on the radio? Did those people listen to something they weren't supposed to hear? People have claimed to have seen strange lights coming from the school where the first crime scene happened. Strange sightings in the sky. I know where you're going with this. I saw them too once. And what about the band? Maybe there's a secret code in their song. Maybe they knew too much. Maybe this could be proof that the aliens are already here. We should get back to the studio to get more information before we go back on air. Wait, I haven't finished my burger yet. Wait, what? When did you finish your pizza? It was good. Whatever. I'll go on ahead to get things ready. Alright, I'll be there soon. After taking my time eating the cheeseburger, I headed out. It's getting cold. There's no one around. I expected more people going out on Devil's Night. I should go back to the studio. I wonder if aliens have dramas too. Do they commit crimes like us? That would be interesting to know. There's no one around. What an eerie silence. Let's look at the VHS store. Is the VHS store still open? I suppose it's normal on Halloween. Help! Was that the owner? I headed inside without thinking. Oh no. The lights are out. Is this blood? I can see a shape in the distance. Is it a body? Then suddenly, someone emerged from the darkness. They were coming towards me. What are you doing here? He had a VHS tape in his hand. Oh, this. The world isn't ready for this yet. What did you? Is that a gun? No, wait! Trick or treat. I closed my eyes. I didn't hear any sounds. Until that scream. When I opened my eyes again, the detective was bent on the ground. Blood was coming out from his mouth and eyes. What the hell is happening? It's okay. I got this. You what? It's a curse. I knew he was shady, so I prepared everything while we were in the studio. You what? I told you not to mess with this stuff. This stuff just so happened to save your life. Quick, get the tape and let's get out of here. I didn't have time to process everything. Wait, so you're telling me that there is actually, strange stuff going on? This isn't just a goof or gaffe or weird conspiracy theory stuff. This is actually happening. But I did like she told me. We took the tape and ran back to the studio. I can't believe this is happening. We should call the police. Later. Let's watch the tape. Did he really kill that guy over this frickin' tape? It took some time to calm down, but eventually we turned on the VCR and played the tape. What I saw changed me forever. Welcome back to Undead Air. This is our last segment with you tonight. And I'd like to say something. You see, until tonight, I didn't actually believe in the things I'd been hearing on this show. Conspiracies, the paranormal, the occult, the aliens. To me, it was all just some sick form of entertainment. But tonight, there is something I want you to see. There'll be time in the next days to go over it. But for now, I realized one thing. We are not alone. You are not alone. So be assured, when you call our show, we will believe in you. Good night, and see you tomorrow. Over and out. "25 years later?" Me? I was listening to the last episode of that podcast. The alien one. It was all over TV this last month. What's the deal with that? I think it's good. You should really listen to it. I heard they'll make a documentary too. It was ironic. The moment I had started believing, nobody believed us. Even the cops didn't believe us when we told them about the murder of that VHS guy. And that FBI agent. The body was never found, but apparently he was onto this cop. The one who was on our case 25 years ago. He found out that he was actually involved in some corruption scandal. Messing with evidence, crime scenes, that kind of stuff. The alien autopsy video we found became a source of memes and parodies in the following years. The show has been going strong since that time. After a few years of hiatus, we will be back this year. Our community has grown. Hey, look, did you see this? It's all over SXitter. Whoa, dude. Stop looking at that phone. What was that? What's going on? The people. Everyone is checking something on their phone. Someone is pointing at the sky. I knew it. Maybe this is what the detective meant. The world isn't ready for this yet. I hope we're ready. Ending C, you are not alone. This break was longer than the other, so we had time to get some food at the nearby diner. Is that a giant waffle with ice cream, bacon, and eggs? Yeah, duh. Is this your breakfast or something? I wasn't that hungry, so I ordered just some cake and coffee. Is that guy really FBI or just a fraud? I don't know. What's up? You look like you want to tell me something. Look, I got a call while we were on air. Please, listen to this and don't get mad. Huh? You know this occult stuff. It's actually my second job. Ah, that. I kinda suspected it was. It all began when I went to Italy, and then I found this really weird arrowhead. And then someone, I don't know why, they just stabbed me with it, and then some weird stuff happened. It was at that time that I was hired by the Vatican. Well, the church is some sort of occult sect, after all. I was sent here to look after you. Me? What we call a cult is actually the work of Satan. Bruh. These people calling, they are attracted by you. Look, don't be scared. Maybe you are not even aware of this. Aware of what? That Satan is in you. What the hell? See? I've already talked to the bishop. We will take care of you. Please, come with us. Suddenly the cop was behind me when I turned. What? Am I under arrest? Do you have an irrational aversion towards sacred places and objects? No! Did you find yourself speaking foreign ancient languages? No, none of that. These are the signs of demonic possession. ¿Quieres ego liquor? Who? What? Liquor? No, I don't want liquor, but I would like some ego, though. Esne satanas entus es? Noli timer. Dominus vobiscum. She took out a cross from her jacket. I backed out instinctively. That person is possessed by Satan! Everyone was closing. Whoa. Wait, so you're telling me... I'll talk about it at the end. I ran away. I started running. What the hell is going on? This whole place is frickin' crazy. Why is everyone trying to exorcise me? I did nothing wrong. FBI, stop. It was the detective. What's going on? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, man. My friends went crazy. They want to exorcise me? I see. So it's you. Look. The Pope's... Of course, even you. The Vatican is collaborating with the FBI. Don't worry. I'm also an exorcist. What? There he is! Stop! No! I studied criminal psychology even before you were born. I know how to deal with evil. The case is almost solved. Where? I'm back to the studio? Was that a delusion? There's no time. You're in danger. Be extra careful when the killer calls again. FBI. Yes, it's me. Got it. I'll move to the location immediately. The detective closed the call and went out. What just happened? Huh? Oh my god. Oh, whoa, what did I do? Please, tell me something. You don't actually work for the Vatican, right? What? I guess they'd rather exercise me for the things I did. Whoa. Where's that coming from? It was this weird dream. You were trying to exercise me and the cop. Whoa, a delusion? What do you think triggered it? I don't know. It was after we went off air. I see. This is very interesting. I've noticed something strange during the program. We should investigate. Why don't we go to the diner since we have a long break? Sure. What happened? You say it was after that call, maybe that's what triggered it. This isn't a Steins Gate, is it? But how? Electromagnetic waves. El Psy Conqueror. Heck, I think this might be related to our case. Let's go over the killings again. How is this related? Did you notice how the school was close to the antenna? What about it? Well, I was thinking, maybe the victims got some strange signals coming from it. A signal that set them to fire. I'm not sure. You kept talking about this auto-combustion stuff. Is this related? It could be. How exactly does this work? You see, the brain is actually an electric machine. In a way, it's like a computer. Remember that summer when your computer died? Yeah, you said it was the heat. Overheating. So, what if you could overheat the brain? Or even the entire nervous system? That's your auto-combustion. Okay, dive bomb, tell me about that. What was the point of climbing the radio tower that way? Do you think it was trying to sabotage it? Yes, maybe he was trying to stop the signal. Or maybe he was attracted by it? You mean like mind control? I don't know, but there's still the fact that he died like the other victims. Near the antenna. Okay, the signal. What is the signal you're talking about? It's a research I've read on the internet some time ago. Sonogenetics. In simple terms, it's a way to stimulate a neural activity in the brain via sounds. Now you sound like one of our callers. Well, there is quite a literature about this stuff. For instance, it seems that the government was involved in several experiments with this technology. But there are traces of this in other medias too. There was this old video game. It was rumored that a musician hit a special binaural tone in one of the songs. It seemed like that song caused some kind of illness or delusions in people who played the game. So with this special tone, you basically mind control people to do stuff? Yeah. Of course, the majority of the sounds are inaudible since they're very low or high frequencies. But that's the point, since it is believed that inaudible frequencies can still influence other sounds. Is this that binaural thing? I've heard a lot about it. ASMR, I believe, is what it's called. No, binaural sounds are another thing. A binaural tone is actually two very similar tones played left and right. The slight discrepancy in the sounds and their position is what makes them strange. You know, your brain actually uses these discrepancies to determine distances and directions. So yeah, some kind of neural activation is happening. Let me guess, there is no proof. Well, you can find some of those sounds on the internet. Wanna hear? Yeah, whatever. Here, listen. Interesting. But that's for nerds. My phone is ringing. It's the cop. Hello? Are you alone? No. I need to show you something, but I need to talk to you alone. I'm just outside your studio. This could be important. Alright, I'm coming. I left my friend with an excuse and headed towards the studio. The cop was outside. What's going on? Have you ever seen this device before? It looks like a strange phone keypad. It had some extra buttons on the dialer, though. What's this? This is called a blue box. It was one of the first hacking devices. It generates specific tones to be transmitted on the phone. Back in the days, it was used to hack telephones and get free calls and such. It was called phone phreaking. Weird tones? I found this near the mixer. I think your friend might know something about it. What? Was she behind all this? This device was heavily modified, though. It emits a specific binaural tone. Here, listen to this. Not again. No! Holy crap, it happened again. What? It was the tone. What did you see? It was this weird device. Just when I was saying that, someone turned up the volume of the TV. They finally got the son of a witch. It was a breaking news program. We're now going to connect live to the upcoming press conference announced by the police force. After catching the killer, the officer on the case has prepared a special message to be delivered. I can't believe this. It's the cop who came to our studio. After a short break, the press conference began. The cop started speaking. Thank you for coming. I'd like to thank the force for their support. The cop stopped. It looked like he was in pain. Something's wrong? He started touching his head. No, it was... A few hours ago, the cop was on the serial killer case. Died horribly during a police conference. Maybe some of you were lucky enough to see it on live television. His head exploded. No weapons or explosives were found on the scene. The explosion was spontaneous. And that, dear listeners, is the last victim of tonight. Maybe you have noticed already, but it's past midnight and I'm still alive. What really happened tonight? Here's what we found. A few minutes before. Did you find something on your forum? I think so. Look at this. It was the school where the first murder happened. It's this blog post. The author claims that a long time ago they were doing experiments in the school basement. What kind of experiments? Psychic. Could it be? And check this out. It was an article about the small talk radio incident 1 year ago. The killer at the station. He went to the school? Yes, it says so in this article. He was a kid when the fire happened. He never recovered from the trauma. He developed clear symptoms of PTSD and a strange form of electromagnetic hypersensitivity. You mean those people afraid of phones or electrical devices? Yes, he couldn't stand around them. Even when he killed at the radio. That's what he said in his call. Could he be a psychic? Yeah, but how about tonight? Yes, tonight. It looks like these psychic guys are sensible to electromagnetic waves. Or waves in general. So, remember that short Undead Air incident earlier tonight? I think that's what triggered everything. So you think the killer is someone involved with radio? That's sick! And you know how everything began? It was a song. Someone requested a specific song by Philip Henry John, the second victim. It was the song with the long silence in it. Of course it was a shorter version of that silence, but I'm pretty sure something was in it. I did some research and look at this. It was another blog. It was a fan site of the second victim's band. In this page, people were talking about shared dreams. There was a picture at the end of the page. It was a photo with some text under. The text said, "Ever dream of this person?" And the photo. What the frick? The manager! Ending D. Binaural tone. So that was Undead Air. To my understanding, the first ending is essentially the religious, satanic ending, right? The second ending is the spirits and ghosts ending. The third ending is the aliens ending. And the fourth ending, which I think is sort of the canon ending, is the electromagnetic waves ending. And I believe it's the canon ending because it does involve a lot of the stuff from the other endings. And also, it kind of is sort of like... It gave me sort of like Steins Gate vibes, right? Like you hear the magnetic waves with the frequency, and then you get zapped to an alternate reality. So it could be that afterwards, that all of the different calls that we were getting were... Like that's why they had such a huge effect on what ending we got. Because it's shifting the world in a certain direction. And also, it is the only ending to ever go into depth about the manager. Whereas in all of the other ones, with the exception of the ghost one, the manager just kinda disappears. He's gone. So assuming that this isn't just like, oh, weird stuff and that they're all true, but not true at the same time, then I think that ending D is the true ending to this. And yeah, overall, I thought it was an interesting story. I liked the different variations. I also liked the art style, as well as just the general atmosphere and vibe of it. I think it does a good job of capturing that late night radio show vibe. And yeah, overall, a really good game. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and wherever you are, I wish you a good day, evening, or night, and stay safe everyone.